So welcome everyone. My name is Chris Hill and I'm the Dean of Research Planning and Institutional Effectiveness here at MiraCosta. And I've been helping out the Institutional Program Review Committee with putting into place a new online platform that can be used for program review, planning, and outcomes assessment. It will replace what's been used before, which would be TRACDAT and the portal. And so what I'm going to do right now is share my screen with you and started with just a few background slides in total. We'll hop right into showing you what the platform looks like. On the call, I noticed I have Michelle Olmstead on here, who is part of the IPRC, and she has been one of the folks that has been testing. I'm scrolling down to make sure I'm not missing anybody else related to that, but she's been testing the platform as well, as have others from IPRC. So I'm going to hit share and we'll get started. So this is a sneak peek related to the online platform called Campus Labs. What I'd like you to do is, if you could, as we go through things, if you can jot down questions, or you can even use the chat box if you'd like. And then I'll unmute at the end as well for questions. So if you don't want to write it down or you want to capture it in the chat while you're thinking of it, then we'll go through the chat box and answer some of those questions, and we'll also unmute and allow you guys to ask questions at the end, and we can always go back. I do want to let folks know that this presentation is being recorded so that we can use portions of it to do some tutorials and other helpful materials for all of you. I'm going to go ahead and this will advance here. If not, I'll do it this way. So the new program review cycle, I just wanted to give everybody an understanding of how that works. The new program review cycle is going to be shifting to a 3-year comprehensive program review and planning cycle. In the past, it's been an annual cycle to do everything. So we do annual program review, annual planning, annual resource requests. In this case, we're going to do a 3-year comprehensive program review. You're still going to plan annually and do annual updates for program review, and you'll do resource requests, but they're going to occur at different times. So for instance, there's a lot here, but if we focus on just the first few lines, you'll have the key information. I'm going to make sure that you're all muted. I think we are. In the fall of 2018, as most of you know, we only did resource requests, and those were based on last year's 2017-18 program review. Starting in the spring of 2019, everybody on campus is going to do a comprehensive program review. Once they've done that comprehensive program review, they're also going to do planning based on that. And I'll show you the process in just a second. But you're going to do your program review, then you're going to develop some action plans all in the spring semester. Come fall semester, and that got changed, so I forgot to change this, my apologies. What you're going to do is, based on the goals and actions that you outlined in the spring, you're going to do resource requests in the fall. Actually, it reads correctly. So you're going to do resource requests in the fall based on goals and action plans that you did this spring. So one difference between the process is program review and planning are now moved to the spring semester. Resource request process stays in the fall semester. Once that's done in fall 2019, we'll move into spring 2019 and the next program review cycle. What will happen is, at that point, we're going to be shifting into this staggered cycle for the comprehensive program review. So this time around, everybody's going to do one in the spring, but following that, it's only going to be 1/3 of the programs or units that are going to be doing that. Now, again, we realize that for 1/3 of those folks, they're going to be doing 2 comprehensive program reviews back to back, right? Spring of 2019 and spring of 2020. If a lot hasn't changed, you'll have the opportunity to cut and paste or roll that stuff over into spring 2020 and make a few changes if that's applicable. For the other 2/3, they're going to do their first annual update for their program review. And then again, the process continues. So in fall 2020, you'll do resource requests. Everyone will do resource requests based on either their second comprehensive program review for 1/3 or their annual updates for the other 2/3. And then you're in the regular cycle. The second third goes in the next spring, the final third goes in the next spring, and then you repeat that. So that's going to be the cycle from here forward in terms of program review and planning and resource requests in the fall. One of the things we're going to do this semester coming up is to help people understand Campus Labs and actually have some hands-on training. So what you're seeing right now is this first part here, which is just a sneak peek. I'm just going to walk you through, show you what the platform looks like, the kinds of things you can do with it, but this is not a training session. So I hope folks won't feel obligated to make sure you take copious notes on this and feel like this is your only chance to understand and learn this platform, because it's not. This is just to kind of get you acquainted with it. During Flex Week and beyond Flex Week, all the way up through mid-February, we're going to be doing hands-on training sessions that you can sign up for and come to a computer lab. You're going to be able to get on. If you're a person that does program review or planning, you're going to be able to get on there and learn the tool firsthand. We're going to have people that are trained in this that can help you and mentor you, and actually not just on the Campus Labs platform itself, but also on the program review process. There will be mentors from IPRC that'll be there as well. And then the last thing that we're going to do this coming spring, and we'll do this beyond just this spring, but the last thing we're going to do is to provide ongoing support while you're doing your program review and planning activities. So there will be working sessions where we'll schedule time in computer labs, and we'll invite you to come in and work on your program review and planning information. So if you've met with your department and now it's your time to put this stuff into the system, bring it with you, come in and sit down, and we'll have support there to help you do that if you want to work on it with some support. The other thing that we're working on are a number of tutorial materials, which will include, at the very least, walkthroughs on how to use this platform, both in video format and in written format, with some PDFs that are annotated for your use. Finally, let's talk a little bit about the process of program review and how all this fits together, because that's going to be important when you go to look at the platform and understand how it works. So we're going to start with that comprehensive program review. You know that when you did program review, you had a number of questions that you were prompted to answer. Actually, they weren't necessarily always questions. Sometimes they were standards. Those standards have now been rewritten as leading or guiding questions so that you can respond to inquiry prompts rather than just trying to make sure you hit all the standards. You're still going to see the same groupings, things like program performance, program resources, program personnel, as you saw before. They're also going to be separated as they were before in instruction, hybrid, and support areas. And so those are going to look very familiar. There's very little change in terms of content with the program review. So that process shouldn't look too much different in terms of the types of things that you're being asked to address. One of the things to keep in mind that's a little bit different here, although you've probably done it in your program review but not actually articulated it, is that when you do your comprehensive program review, you're going to find things that you're doing really well, and then there are going to be some things that you're going to find during this self-evaluation that you're going to realize you'd like to fix or work on. And so you're going to develop some goals in order to be able to do that. And so this platform will give you an opportunity to show what those goals are, to state what those goals are. In addition, you're going to be able to create your action plans. You're going to have the same type of information, although not quite as much as you were asked to put in before, to develop those action plans. And then in some case, in order to achieve those goals, and then in some cases, you'll have opportunity to put in or a need for resource requests. Some action plans may require resources, some may not. And so if it's applicable, you'll have an opportunity to put those in as well. Don't forget, the first three parts of this, comprehensive program review, goals, and action plans, will occur in the spring semester. Resource requests will occur in the fall semester of each year. And we're going to be doing a handout that has this information on it and more additional, some additional information that will explain some of that. Finally, when you go to do your, so just to reiterate this before I get to the next thing, one of the things I want to point out is each of these things supports the thing above it. And that's important. I'm going to use this language because you're going to see that language in the platform. Each of these things supports the thing above it. And that's important. I'm going to use this language because you're going to see that language in the platform. So if you put in a resource request, that resource request is supporting one of your action plans. Likewise, an action plan is supporting one of your goals, and one of your goals is supporting or addressing a gap or something that you wanted to, an area of improvement that you identified in your comprehensive program review. So keep that in mind as we go to the platform. Every other year in between those 2 additional years, when you do your annual program review update, remember the idea behind that is to be able to say what's changed, what's different, have we continued to improve, and so on. And so the result of that annual program review update is going to be to add or modify your goals. And then this process starts again each spring.